Have you heard the news about PlayStation Plus?
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Sony, completely out of the blue, while announcing a bunch of free games coming to, not free games, games coming to PlayStation Plus, decided to also reveal that the service is going to be getting a significant price increase. So, the essential mode is going from 60 euros to 72 euros. The extra mode is going from 100 euros to 126 euros. And the premium is going from 120 to 152 euros. For comparison, in the US, that is $159 for the top tier and £120 UK.
Forget about owning an apartment anymore. Just get PlayStation Plus, right? So sad.
I do not believe this is anything more than our purses are tight, we need more money. People are going to leave, but we'll make the money back from the people who stay. And I'm cancelling my subscription. I'm sorry, that's 150 euros a year is obscene for a service of that type. I would gladly pay close to 120. I already pay 120 for Xbox Game Pass, but Xbox Game Pass gives you the games that Microsoft make day one.
Day and date, yeah.
Yeah, they do really well with the Game Pass Ultimate, which is what I have currently.
Yeah.
Like,
and
really
we're going to get Starfield the day it came out. We got Sea of Stars the day it came out. We got Halo the day it came out. We got Redfall the day it came out. We don't talk about that one. But you get it. It saves, like, just playing Starfall and Sea of Stars is like 70% of the cost of Game Pass right there. And they don't do that on PlayStation Plus. You still have to wait like a year to get the new games, which means you still have to pay for them. So
not only that, if they even had like the old Silent Hill games, like Silent Hill 1 through 3, I feel like it would be more worth it because they do have a selection, but they're basically Sony. While I love Sony dearly, they're basically like the Apple of gaming. They gatekeep a lot of stuff behind a ridiculous paywall that's not affordable for the general public.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cal points out that Game Pass only gives you games for a limited amount of time. All Microsoft stuff stays on there indefinitely. The other stuff depends on the company. But I remember when I was 7, 8, 9 years of age, and I was renting out games for like €5 a day.
Yeah.
€10 a month is a freaking steal. It's the cost of 2 premium games. I'm not going to go back to most of those games, no matter how great they are. I'm going to get my full playthrough, 10, 20 hours. Might go back to it in 10 years, but at that point, it's going to be on sale for like $2.99 anyway. So on Steam. But the amount of value it gives you, that I can play through Starfield day one. It's already downloaded on my PC. I'm just waiting for it to unlock. And with with PlayStation, I have to pay 152 euros. Just saying it makes me feel gross. And I still have to pay for Spider-Man on day one. Like, I'm not going to get Spider-Man 2 when it comes out.
The PlayStation Plus is a great subscription service for your backlog. It's not necessarily what you're going to be playing all your new releases on. It was borderline, is it worth the money to begin with? But then to do the price hike is really crazy. Although I will say it's entirely possible. I'm not an insider on the industry or anything. It's entirely possible that this subscription service thing is not profitable yet. And Microsoft may be willing to lose money on it for the long play, and Sony isn't. And that could be what's playing out here. It's just hard to know because none of us really know how those deals work behind the scenes. And it obviously, companies are willing to put them on the subscription services. They're getting paid up front. They're getting something out of it. It's not like they're giving the game away for free, but then their sales numbers don't look as good because, you know, there's some cannibalism there. So it's hard to know what is happening in the industry, you know, how publishers feel about it.
Go ahead.
Not only that, I feel as if since they're coming out with so many new tech releases right now with the handheld Bluetooth headset,
Mhm.
so many different things. I feel like they're
Oh,
trying to also cover for a loss of a profit margin as well.
I
Right.
could
That
rant.
could be a possibility. I mean, because the thing is like when we look at Sony and we look at their deliverability on how they produce tech stuff, it
Mhm.
is beyond incredible. Look at what they did with the VR2. Like, look at what they did
Right.
with so much of what they have already. So I feel as if they're trying to cover their assets in a way and saying like, okay, well, if these handhelds don't sell, if these Bluetooth pieces don't sell, how are we going to recoup the cost?
Right. And
So
so much of what Sony does, so much of what Microsoft does makes more sense when you look through it through the lens or remember that Sony is a hardware company that is dabbling in software, and Microsoft is a software company that's dabbling in
yeah,
hardware.
exactly.
But like the Portal just seems like such a redundant device to me. It's my problem
Okay.
is honestly my problem is the pricing. Maybe
Yes,
this is
that's my
from my
problem with it.
circumstance as like someone who is not financially, excuse me, well off. Um, the it just feels like they're pricing these things at a luxury market that like
They're
the
the
average
Apple of
consumer
gaming, yeah.
cannot can like 200 for a streaming device.
Well, I mean, I'm not financially well off either, and I completely pricing business at the end of the day. I mean, when I look at it from this perspective, it is a reason. And this is where I think that our opinions differ because I feel like the price is more than reasonable for the market that it's in. Because if you were looking at something like a Steam Deck is also very reasonable
Yeah, but a
because you're
Steam Deck can
getting.
actually play games.
Yeah, you can play games on this too, but they're more promoting it as a streaming service because
You can
people
only
want
stream from the PlayStation you already own with the Portal.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
which
people
means you
if
have
they
to have
want to
already
play it
bought a €500 PlayStation.
exactly. Which I think if people already own that and they want to spend their money on that, that's cool.
Oh yeah, I'm
Kudos
not
for
going to
them,
tell people
you know?
they can't. I
Yeah.
just think it's like buy buy a $500 PlayStation, then buy a $500 headset. I love VR. I went out and got myself a Valve Index for Christ's sake. That was an expense.
Yeah, I mean, like, I just feel as if, and this is why a lot of people disagree with me a lot on pricing. Just feel as if whenever it comes to pricing, whenever it comes to certain price hikes or structures, the price hike of the PS of the subscription, but when it comes to tech pieces or games, I understand why it's priced the way it is. Even though I personally might not invest money in it, or I might see like different avenues to do the same thing that they're doing through different ways.
Thoughts, Tom?
I am actually a person who would be interested in using the Portal. I have a 3-year-old. He's watching Ninja Turtles on YouTube, and it's an opportunity for me to sit on the couch and play a game. Like, I get that. I actually use remote play on my phone a lot. I've thought about getting a backbone and that sort of thing. But so I would actually be interested in using this and using it probably the way they're intending for it to be used. But I just can't justify that price on it. I mean, I can practically buy a Switch, or I can buy a Switch for that. And like you said, I can take that anywhere and play it. I don't have to be on Wi-Fi.
If they
And this thing doesn't even have
know,
Bluetooth.
No,
there's
I
two
forgot about
things.
that.
There's two things if they added to that device, I would be like, cool. One, like actual streaming, like from a service like Xbox Cloud. It only
Right.
allows you to stream to your existing PlayStation. They allowed me to use like PlayStation Now, for instance, on the Portal. That would be pretty cool. Also, day one games. If they gave me day one games with PlayStation Plus, I could justify this price because I would be getting 2 full price games for that cost. Like I could get Spider-Man and whatever else is coming out in the future. The new Final Fantasy game. That's not going to be on it, but you know what I mean. There's just I need a greater sense of value for what I'm paying. And right now I feel like Game Pass gives that a lot. Has a greater value and it's cheaper. So I'm going to be
But also,
sticking with.
let's remember that the PSP is also coming back in value, so that could be a reason why the popularity of this new streaming service for the portable for PlayStation is going to rise in its value. Collectability is another thing. Like a lot of people are great collectors of tech. So no matter if the system is bad or good or even indifferent or in between, there's still going to be people who will just do it for collector's sake.
Maybe I'm still burned because I was one of the 12 people that bought the PlayStation TV, and you could stream games to it, and it would do the PlayStation Cloud.
I just
and you could put Vita games in it, and then they just systematically took one service away after another, and they took away PlayStation Cloud, and you could never do Netflix on it. It was just it's like, why did you guys even make this thing?
Because the PlayStation Vita wasn't selling. Thank you, Ariel, for taking this rant of mine and actually managing to turn it into a nuanced, intelligent discussion.
Of course.
Hey there, folks. I know nobody wants to listen to a creator shill themselves for 90 seconds, so I'm not going to. If you enjoyed this, we do the show live every Sunday on Twitch at 6 p.m. BST. Feel free to pop over TNEQL. And if you would like to support us in making the channel bigger and helping it grow, you can also check us out on Patreon, also as TNEQL. Take care of yourselves. Stay beautiful.